Sláva Václav Jelínek was a Czech writer of trashy dime novels. He was born in 1905 and published voluminously, publishing some 50 novels by age 25 in various magazines. He had a total of around 100. He wrote romances, detective stories, and the occasional harebrained fantastic novel. During the German occupation of Czechoslovakia, he was a collaborator and changed his name to Willibald Göring, because Göring was too obvious. At trial after the war, he tried to argue he was sabotaging the Germans by publishing so much they wouldn't have paper to print propaganda. He was sentenced to 8 years and served 5. He died in 1967. We will cover the first part of his trilogy of decadent novels, the 1924 Sir Lee Farguhar, a nearly impossible to obtain obscurity. The book concerns the Farguhar family of Scottish extraction, some of whose notable members include a great-aunt who set her dog out to kill pedestrian bystanders and got eaten herself, an uncle who had a habit of nearly killing himself, be it poison or drowning, before finally shooting himself through the head, an aunt that bewails being born a woman, going around her room dressed as a man and making love to wooden marionettes in female clothes. And what can we say of great-grandfather's sister who made love to 2 goats and impaled herself on a fence? Now the protagonist, Sir Lee Farguhar, receives the yacht Calypso from his mother on his birthday and decides to go on a trip to Panama. Before he goes, Virginia, the woman that loves him but whom he doesn't, tells him not to be a Farguhar to avoid the family curse of insanity. When entering the yacht, Lee finds a black envelope in his cabin from a mysterious person who says he will be steering the boat in secret and saying not to bring any women aboard lest he will assault them. Lee tears it up and throws it out in disgust. Among his fellow passengers we have Gordon Carr, who was born in a chimney when his mother hid from a drunken abusive husband, or the widow Mrs. Kynaston, who is fooling around with 2 lovers at once. Then one day Sir Lee's closest friend John Waterer is found dead. The body is horribly disfigured by poison, and Carr says they have to throw the body overboard so they won't all die from exposure to it, while Waterer's wife Marjorie goes insane. Back at the Farguhar home, we are reminded of great-grandfather William, who hasn't left his room next to the library for 20 years, and once dragged a girl bringing him food inside, never to be seen again. Then Lee's sister Jenny, while in the library, finds an old family Bible containing a bloody dagger and a human scalp. After the sea party throw the dead man overboard, having to fight Mrs. Marjorie for possession of the body, Mrs. Kynaston suggests going to the Labina pub in the Azores, where one can eat a real human heart and even pick the person there to tear it out of while still alive. Then Lee disguises himself to go eat a female heart in Labina. He sees 40 women naked and filthy in a cage and is made to select one. He refuses but does nothing to save them, and fights alongside the Labina staff when the police and freed male prisoners bust into the dining room. Lee and his friends escape to the yacht but soon find Mrs. Marjorie horribly murdered. As Lee sees the young sailor Dapro walking the ship at night with a murderous pair of pliers and a mad expression, but refuses to believe it was him because of Dapro's education. At the same time, Lee keeps getting more mysterious letters in black envelopes, promising death and destruction and ignoring them for some reason. We also learn from old letters Jenny reads at home about how great-grandfather William stole Dapro the elder's woman and how William's son scalped Dapro's only son, hence the human scalp in the family Bible. So we already know a man named Dapro is not to be trusted, unlike Lee. Back on the ship they find another murder victim, and Gordon Carr now suspects Lee, and Lee wants to murder him for suspecting him of murder. Then Gordon accidentally murders a sailor while trying to murder Lee, because everybody here is a hypocrite. At home, Jenny tries to find out the mystery of great-grandfather William's existence, and avoid the snares of a lascivious Aunt Charlotte whom Jenny ends up murdering in a vat of acid. After so many murders, his friends want to leave Lee behind, sailing off in a lifeboat, but die since the mysterious man drilled holes into it. They also left Gordon Carr behind and let him loose. After Mrs. Kynaston becomes Lee's lover and kills herself, Lee shoots Carr and swims off to a nearby shore, abandoning the yacht. This is quite intense and I really want to read the other volumes.